Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Oh Yes, Honey. My name is Tracie Collins.
And my name is Remer. And today we are going to explore orgasm versus squirting, the number one question asked when we can ask anonymously.
It is. It is. So let's talk about, I want to hit on the myths, but also obviously the mechanics of squirting, and then getting to the level of safety or vulnerability and openness.
Those are good talking points.
So, myths.
Myths that it's a kind of a mechanical thing that somebody outside of ourselves can achieve. Like I'm going to make them squirt. That some people can, some people can't. That it's like the mythical unicorn of sex.
Right. That is P.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That is P. That's a good one. Yeah.
If that were true, all those postpartum moms would be squirters.
That's funny. Okay. And then also that it has to be like porn.
Yes.
Like across the room and all of the things and very projectile.
Yes. Well, did we cover them?
I think so. Like if there's any myths that we missed, be sure to drop them in the comments. We would love to know. we would love to know. So getting into like from a physiological aspect, what our bodies, the female anatomy on the inside, I think that the clitoris is one of the most beautifully hidden, I won't say devices, organs, shapes.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a wishbone.
Yes. All our wishes come true there.
Oh, I love that.
We got to have a new, go there.
It's your portal. It's your portal. All the wishes come true.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
For me, when I think physiologically, I mean, it's hard to get out of my birth brain because all of our reproductive cycles are connected to this like ejection response. So the, male ejaculate, the egg releasing from the ovum, the fetal ejection response, milk ejection response. So to me, then squirting is just a mechanism of that in terms of the layers of pleasure that can come when all of those things, by the way, some of them are mechanical, but they are still hormonally connected. And to me, that's about like oxytocin, openness. We've talked a little bit about oxytocin last week, but body, mind, and spirit coming together. Mm-hmm. So the mechanics definitely are there, but it's also feels like it's a part of the how the heart and the mind are in alignment with our bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to me, that what you said, it leans over into like safety and vulnerability. When we talk about partnered sex, first of all, it's not the goal to me. I don't think you should make orgasm the goal. I just don't. I think it's really about the slowness, which we've spoke about before. It is about the journey, not the destination, and everything that happens in there. But being able to feel safe and vulnerable to allow your body to go where it wants to take you, and trusting the individual that you are sharing that moment with.
To me, that's so essential in both. I mean, a good lesson for life, like enjoying the ride, like being in a space where we're enjoying the whole process versus just the destination, but also then that layer of being able to fully open ourselves to our own possibilities. Like I love the experience of knowing that my body can still surprise me. And it's interesting. Like I've noticed in different encounters that a certain personality type or a certain kind of style of that partner's communication can do that kind of turn on. That's like, oh, I'm going to let all your body's processes be there. But that essential component of like, oh yeah, I really can see you. Like I can like being seen.
Now, you don't have to, in an orgasm, squirting doesn't necessarily happen. It doesn't always happen. And it may be one and few far between too. So not having that level of expectation in the experience that, oh, this is what we're going to achieve. However, I would say from not a safety, but more so a health standpoint, making sure that your bladder is fully empty before you engage in sex, and then also your bladder is completely empty afterwards. So
Yes.
we want to minimize the chances of any kind of infection or anything that happens during the course of sex. So let's get that out there.
Mm-hmm. And other, I mean, there are lots of interesting devices out there. Like if you go to any of the, the stores, we have access now to things like, and this is true for maybe it's the more the female mind, but it's like, I like having the waterproof blanket that I can lay over the bed that I'm like, oh my God, I got to change all my sheets. And it's a little bit like individuals who want to engage in sex during their menstrual cycle too, where it's like, I got to have all the things.
Ooh, we got to cover that.
Too hard afterwards.
Right. I ain't trying to clean all this up.
That goes in my category of checklist. Like, okay, open and connected partner, but I also have to have like the good environment where it's like all going to be easy post.
Now, what would we say to like a woman or a person who experienced it by surprise and it's never happened before?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. For me, I would say relish that. Like you just discovered something about your body. And this is something where, I mean, culturally, I don't know of a single class or environment. There's a few community spaces where this opportunity to explore all the possibilities. I mean, we're going to dive into later, like different kinds of orgasms too, but the physiological capacity, like that, it's completely undiscovered in terms of our bodies and especially the female body's ability to continue to, like the tide coming in, like continually to rise. And so when you get that moment, that's a little ecstatic moment. It's like go into the ocean, you get the full, like it's high tide spray. And not to be shocked. I think people that are unexpected, then they feels like maybe there's shame or, that dastardly, I'm sorry moment.
Yeah.
If they're unprepared for it.
Yeah. I also think from the partner's perspective, these are good conversations to have before you engage in sex with somebody too, because you don't want to be with somebody that would shame you for that. Because I've even heard in like same-sex relationships from female to female that it is a partner shaming another woman for having this experience. And to me, first of all, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of woo-saw Tracie, this is not your experience. This is somebody online. Calm down. But it just also showed me just the level of, or the lack of education and information and that they had in general, but when you're sharing experience, and as a grown adult, it's your responsibility to educate yourself about sex and not let society do that for you. So not shaming people or not coming from a shameful perspective when it does happen.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those peak moments. Like, why hide the peak moments for us? Like that, these are, I mean, we could have a long conversation about that, how culture wants to hide the, our little superpowers, but that, acknowledging safe spaces to have, I mean, that's what I think this was, Oh Yes, Honey was based on, is we wanted just to start to like have a safe place where we can talk about things.
Yeah. Okay, so if we are missing anything, please be sure to drop in the comments so we can expound on it. We want to hear from you guys. We want to answer your questions. We would love to hear your experiences. I will drop our email address in the description. So if you have any topic or subject matter or story that you would like to share, you can send us to it, via email, and we will get to it. Any closing words that you have about this subject before we sign off for next week?
Yes. My invitation, I think today is to play with that alignment. Like, what would it be like to think about the set and setting, think about, your willingness to be open. How have you pushed that edge? Like, how much pleasure can you stand? I go back to this one inquiry question I received early in my journey, but like just noticing, or also this week, just noticing when you feel that alignment, when you feel your sensual alignment kind of line up neurologically and physically. And then just that might be a moment when you kind of discover that this is on the other side.
Yeah, I love that. Like I always say the on the other side of fear is freedom. So not being fearful in it is just something that you may have yet to experience to its fullest capacity. But if there is a level of curiosity there, explore that and take that further. But I also believe that if you are interested in knowing that if your body is ready to go there with you, have those moments with yourself individually versus expecting a person to provide it for you.
Yeah.
So have some self pleasure time, get some devices or whatever you need to support it or support you in the moment. Also, setting the tone, I think, is important. I think that you're having the candles or the incense, putting on something sexy, making yourself feel good, getting yourself in a relaxed state so that way you know how vulnerable you need to be in order to go there. So,
Mhm.
thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Oh Yes, Honey. My name is Tracie Collins.
And my name is Jessie Remer. Oh, yes, honey. Have a great week.
And we will see you guys next week.